Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Officials say they believe a Walmart employee is responsible for killing at least 7 people and injuring many more in a shooting in the US state of Virginia. A man believed to be the store manager is thought to have opened fire, then turned the gun on himself. The attacker's motive remains unclear. Chesapeake Mayor Rick West said the town is devastated by the senseless violence that took place. Investigations are continuing to determine what happened.
4 victims are in area hospitals with conditions unknown at this time. And the suspect is dead from what we believe was a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The whole of Ukraine's western city of Lviv is without power after widespread strikes were reported across Ukraine, including in the capital, Kyiv. Lviv's mayor, Andriy Sadovy, urged people to take shelter, saying the whole city is without power. Meanwhile, emergency services say a newborn baby has been killed in a Russian missile strike on a maternity unit in Ukraine's southern Zaporizhia region. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Russia of bringing terror and murder to his country. Israeli police say a 16-year-old boy has been killed and 14 other people have been wounded in 2 suspected bomb attacks at bus stops in Jerusalem. The explosions happened at 2 busy areas on the outskirts of the city as people were heading to work. Israel's internal security minister said at one scene that this was an attack we haven't seen in a long time. Palestinian gun and knife attacks have targeted Israelis, and Israeli military raids have killed Palestinian gunmen and civilians in the occupied West Bank. Protests have erupted at the world's biggest iPhone factory in the Chinese city of Zhengzhou. That's according to footage circulated widely online. Videos show hundreds of workers marching, with some confronted by people in hazmat suits and riot police. Those live streaming the protests said workers had been beaten by police. Manufacturer Foxconn said it would work with the staff and local government to prevent further violence. In its statement, the firm said some workers had doubts about pay, but that the firm would fulfill pay based on contracts. The remarkable moment a 5-year-old boy was pulled alive from rubble in Indonesia after 3 days has been caught on camera. Rescuers pulled Aska from the rubble in the earthquake-struck town of Cianjur on Wednesday. In a video of the rescue posted by a local fire department, the young boy appeared conscious and calm as he was lifted to safety. The Supreme Court has ruled that the Scottish Government cannot hold an independence referendum without the UK Government's consent.
The Scottish Parliament does not have the power to legislate for a referendum on Scottish independence.
First Minister Nicola Sturgeon wanted to hold a referendum on the 19th of October next year, but the court ruled unanimously that she does not have the power to do so. The UK Government has so far refused to grant the formal consent for a vote that was in place before the referendum in 2014. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak welcomed the verdict.
We respect the clear and definitive ruling of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. And what I would say to the honourable gentleman, that firstly I am looking forward to also seeing the moderator of Scotland tomorrow, and I think that the people of Scotland want us to be working on fixing the major challenges that we collectively face, whether that's the economy, supporting the NHS, or indeed supporting Ukraine. Now is the time for politicians to work together, and that's what this government will do.
And South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has visited the Royal Botanic Gardens with Britain's Prince Edward on the 2nd day of his state visit to the UK. Ramaphosa and Edward toured the gardens in Kew in London and listened to talks about plants.
It's particularly important for plants like aloes that are traded.
The visit came as Britain and South Africa announced a new health and science partnership covering vaccine manufacturing, genome sequencing, climate change and other areas. Ramaphosa later met Rishi Sunak to attend a UK-South Africa business forum to discuss trade and investment. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.